Good morning, Matthew Nichols members. My name is Madison, and I am the development coordinator at the Gardens and Arboretum. And I am here this morning with David Michener in his beautiful garden. This is going to be one of the parts of the Peony webinar tour we are doing. So we're here with David today. He's going to show us some of his peonies. He's going to show us his whole garden. And it's going to be great. Hi, David.
Hi, Madison. Hi, members.
So, David,
Wonderful June morning.
I love it. So tell us a little bit about your garden.
Well, the garden is in several different rooms, and we'll walk through them, but most of the peonies are out here in the front in what Will, my husband, and I call the decoy garden. Because most people driving by go, oh, it's a beautiful garden, we love it. And the front garden, this decoy garden, is very different from the back. So
Amazing.
We'll begin here and we'll work our way around.
Beautiful. Just off the top of your head, David, how long has it taken for you guys to build the garden and to make it what it is today?
29 years.
Wow.
And when I started, it was all turf with a couple of just overgrown rank shrubs.
Wow.
And a tulip tree that was about to fall over because it had rotted out all the way across.
Oh my gosh. Off the top of your head, what have been like kind of the biggest challenges or obstacles in getting the garden to what it is right now?
Good question. So I would say it has been understanding the importance of soil, which I already knew before. Overall, the garden is about 6 inches above where we started 29 years ago from all the compost.
Yeah, wow.
Building up. And the micro environments. So some plants will do beautifully well in one place, but 4 feet over they won't. And I think it has to do with up here on Pontiac Trail on the Glacial Hills. It has to do with winter drainage.
Right.
In terms of some places are slightly clayier and some places are slightly sandier.
Right. All right. So I think we're going to get started.
Alrighty. So when I moved in, this was all lawn, and you could walk around the house, and it took the better part of a Saturday morning to mow the grass. And I wanted a garden. So one of the things that I had to figure out were the sight lines. And where Madison is now is the front where you're standing, where she's standing. But when you sit down on the glider, Pontiac Trail disappears, the traffic disappears.
See, wow, look at that.
In a garden. And the garden is intended to be seen from the seat. So when you come in 2022 for a garden tour, sit there.
Yes.
But be aware that there may be people in the way. But I find it wonderful and magical that you can sit in that glider and 12 feet away, people are walking by on the sidewalk and they don't even see you.
Can confirm, this is great.
So the whole idea is that it's cadenced by the apple trees. These are 6 apple trees that I trained. Decades ago, I worked in a rare book room at Rancho Santa Ana Botanic Garden, and this is based on an early Renaissance Italian woodblock print of how to do an appropriate courtyard garden, where the garden was below, and I think it was pear trees that were trained. And so they're here just to provide the architecture and places for the birds to nest. So let's take a little walk.
Let's go.
So I'm going to keep moving peonies around. Originally I had 18 peonies and an iris border on both sides, but over the years it's gotten too shady as the apples have grown and the maple tree gets bigger. The maple tree is from the 1920s and it's a huge silver maple, 1 of 2 on the property. And that's part of why we keep building up. You can't just plant in the silver maple roots, you keep adding. So it's tree peonies from the apples back with aconites. And then I'm still doing mixed perennials in the front. And the onions are just to help carry the whole palette along.
Beautiful.
And then this will be followed by annual poppies and the like. I like to have waves of flowers coming at me. And as you'll notice, there are lots of lilies.
Fabulous.
I'm tall, and one of the things that I like in a garden is to not be aware that I'm tall.
I'm here
Now,
for
these
it.
lilies will bloom above my head.
Amazing.
That's the whole idea.
Love it.
That's part of this whole Brobagnian proportions of the garden in relation to the scale of the property as understood by most Americans. I'm really appreciative of Carolyn Leopard, who's now at Reinhardt Realtors, who helped me find the house, and she put up with me for months because I went health hunting with a shovel. It's called, if it has decent soil, let's see what the house is like. But if it didn't have decent soil, we didn't even want to go in. So wasn't that an ordeal to put someone through?
Hey, priorities.
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 I have a whole spring bulb display that's died down. What's about to come in another 3 weeks is all the red monarda, the native monarda didyma. This is actually a cultivar, probably Cambridge scarlet. The Culver's root, the white native flaxes, the wild geraniums right now, and then the monksshoods, probably hundreds of monkshood. I just let things seed in, and if they do well, I have more of them. I have tried to plant things. Well, I do plant things, but as garden plants fail, I just replace them with things that are doing well. And one of my other attitudes is that originally I kept the geometric walkways precise, but now I let them become kind of rough, and then as the weeds get obnoxious, I just knock them back. I touched it.
Ooh.
Are these mosquitoes? Funky. Angry mosquitoes are sci-fi woodpeckers.
I don't know. Let's take a vote.
It's from, I got it at a garden club meeting up in Flint, and it's from one of the auto workers who also does garden art as well. And I just thought, this is so authentically Michigan. I used to have really tall peonies out here. I have 78 of them, but I got complaints from ultimately drivers at this corner who couldn't see down the street.
Oh, lame.
Well, actually, they could see down the street, but they were legally too tall. Been out here with the city inspectors a couple times. It was vegetation further down that was blocking it, but people just get in their mind, well, I can't see, so it must be everything. So let's just move along.
I'm obsessed with these.
So I have bulbs and crocus on the front, and then it's followed by bachelor buttons right on the curb line because they take all the salt from the city because this is heavily salted, or at least for Ann Arbor it's heavily salted. And I'm moving more intersectional peonies in here as well.
Right.
Again, trying to go for red. Oh, so if we just go back a moment. Way too much pink.
Take it back,
here.
guys.
Way
Ooh,
too
here we
much
are.
pink. I'm not a pink guy. But they are gorgeous. Gifts from friends.
They are beautiful.
But you can see there is a red one back there, Mackinac Grand, which is a phenomenal red. The irises will move back to being part of the iris borders. The pink peonies, I don't know where I'll put them this fall, but I will. But I'll go back to being reds with little. Further down the street, this is just a mixed medley of intersectional peonies. This is Garden Treasure by Hollingsworth. We've got Gordon Simonson, First Arrival, Pastel Elegance. Quite a number of them. The onions are seeping in from the garden over there. They weren't intended, but there they are, like the columbine vines. We'll let the truck go by.
Yes. Hello, truck. Yes, hello.
The poppies were supposed to be red.
Oh,
That
really?
was going to be part of the whole punching, but the reds died out and the oranges, or they reverted, and orange is what I have. So orange.
Yeah, we gotta look at these. These are beautiful over here. Look at these poppies. Wow.
So I just think the intersectionals are beautiful.
These are great. Look at that.
Most of them
Wow.
are low enough to legally meet. And if somebody ever does complain again, I will just come out and make bouquets.
So get your bouquets, guys. Heads up.
At exactly the measurement that the city insists that people aren't aware of the fence, which I've intentionally never painted because it's an old way to just take cedar. This is a pure cedar fence. Is to never paint it. Yes, it does weather, but that gives the whole place a certain flavor of antiquity, a patina. But I also put the fence a foot back from the sidewalk, even
Ooh.
though I own that foot,
Right.
so I can run a garden strip.
Love it.
My yard. So here we are on what used to be the drive-through driveway and the drive-through garage that's now Will, my husband's textile studio.
It's really beautiful here.
Looms, dress forms, you name it, he does it. So, over the years, people have thrown away lead cloth footed bathtubs.
Look at
They
these.
didn't buy them. They were on the side of the road, free or just dumped out.
Wow.
So it helps to have friends looking. And then we have watering troughs like for livestock. You'll see more further on. And we like to do the petunias because the purple ones in particular are fragrant. And Will likes colors, so over the years we've assembled blue pots. I store them in the shed and back. You'll see where they go. And then this is just his entrance, and by late summer they will have spilled over everywhere. This gets afternoon sun. This is dappled right now. And the petunias seed in. And so I have one of our native willows that I just keep as a clipped hedge as a backdrop for the privacy from the porch, which is where we tend to eat all season long if it's warm enough, because it gives a scrim to the street. And then the yew hedges, again, are blocking us from most of the traffic on Pontiac Trail, which tends to be very busy. So the only really sunny spot is here in the exit from the old drive-through driveway. And so what we've got is vegetables and ornamentals in raised pots. Most people don't understand it when you have something like this. Up until about here is all just filled with rotting firewood or old lumber that I collect from around the neighborhood and compost out of my compost pile, mixed in with a little bit of soil mixture, and then it's only the soil mixture and rotted manures on top.
Wow.
I do not fill it, and at the end of the year, all of this will be put on top of the beds.
Okay, cool.
So we're basically doing live composting, and that's part of why the plants are so good. This was lettuces and arugulas. They started bolting. I mean, we got a good 3-4 weeks of production. And so this year we're doing, because my cannas didn't overwinter. That's the queen herself.
You got a little friend over here.
And it's going to be trailing nasturtiums with castor beans.
Great.
I don't know which peony this is. I think I got it from one of the neighbors when it was in the way. Isn't it a gorgeous one?
They're beautiful.
And you notice we're back in the shade. Peonies will actually take harsh shade. They just don't bloom as vigorously. But I don't care. I'm enjoying them.
It's your garden, your rules.
That's right.
You have a little friend who came to visit. So David, who's this?
This is Arwen. That's from Lord of the Rings. She gave up immortality for love. Will and I have corgis. We have 2 right now, Puka and Arwen. Arwen just turned 2.
Ooh.
And so she's still a puppy, and she
girl.
adores Madison.
We love that.
So this is a fringe tree, Hyananthus virginianus. It's been here for a number of years. By the way, this too is all lawn, other than the 2 huge sugar maples and a couple of lilacs. Everything else was added or extended with the construction. Even the big yews back there, I planted years ago. They were old topiary clipped corner foundation plantings that Janet Mikonovich told me. If you want it, it's over here north of Detroit, and you can get it.
And it smells amazing.
Oh, the fringe tree is beautiful.
Perfect.
If you were to peer in from the street, all you'll see is down this to the headless deer. But from here, when you look out, you look across to the public park, and because of the picketing and the gates, you don't even see the streets and the sidewalk. And then if you look 90 degrees down, you look into what we call the Buddha garden because of the stone Buddha. There's also
the Buddha,
a Virgin Mary, and we have other elements here as well. So it's very it's laid out as a grid, but I don't garden on the grid. The views are all oblique.
David, how long would you say it took to plan, like, I guess, the geometry in regards to how you guys wanted to have the plants in the garden?
It's a dynamic.
Okay.
One can walk through the gates, so it is a complete circulation. But then what one is intended to do, and will sit here even though it's not the end, is the swing pavilion, as we call it. My great uncle made the swing during the
Wow.
Depression. And Paul Little, going back to flower show years, fixed some of the rot that someone had in it. But this has been around for generations. It is about 6'3" across. You can fit multiple adults. The pavilion is made to hold this with 5 adults on it.
Wow.
And the view is out that way, oblique across the gridwork of the paths. The paths disappear, and you'd never know you were in Ann Arbor. So the view that you have now is very close to the view from the window just behind where Madison is seated. So this is what we see from inside the house. And the pipe vines and the American wisteria give us a scrim that
It's
helps
really beautiful.
diffuse the neighborhood and to make it feel more like it's a house embedded in a garden.
Yes.
So I'm glad you've come to this walkthrough. One of the details is that the front of the house is 80 feet. That is the property, not the house. And it's never more than 134 feet on the side. They're 2 huge silver maples. So when people tell you, well, my lot is too small, I've got maple trees, it's hard to garden, it's called Thank you.
David, thank you so much for taking the time to bring us into your home and your garden. It's beautiful.
Super.